Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bird Brothers podcast. I'm your host, Falcon, joined as always by the wonderful Condor. How are you doing today, Condor?
My, I'm just doing fantastic here, ready
Fantastic.
to talk about a good anime that is old, but it's gold. We're talking about the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Isn't that right, Falcon?
Of course, we're talking about the classic, like 2006-ish, around there, I believe,
2006.
is when it came out originally. I haven't seen this since it first came out when I was in high school, so it's definitely been fun to go back and rewatch it now, seeing if it still holds up to the standard that I had for it in the past. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So basically, if you don't know what Haruhi Suzumiya is about, it's about this girl named Haruhi Suzumiya, and she's kind of a weirdo, you know. She
What?
She introduces herself saying she's not interested in normal humans, only aliens, time travelers, and espers. And our main character Kyon kind of gets kind
Isn't
of
any
sucked
of
into her
them?
world there. Yeah, he's not any of them. He's a normal high school
He's
dude,
just a normal guy who doesn't
kind of
want to
just
be
a normal,
bothered.
apathetic high school dude who just wants to be normal.
Very
But
relatable.
kind of gets sucked into her crazy world because she may be more than she seems.
But it was kind of his fault in the first place because he
Yeah,
suggested everything that started the whole craziness.
he did. Yeah, so Haruhi's very weird. Like she has a different hairstyle every day, and each day she adds another tied up spot. It's like day one could be a ponytail, day two might be pigtails, day three might be three pigtail. Like it's all different. And he figures it out, and he kind of points out her like little uh eccentricities, or however you say, multiple whatever. But he kind of just like talks to her because everyone talks about how weird she is if they knew her from like middle school. Uh, yeah, she ends up joining like every club and quitting on the first day because she just doesn't find it interesting. So he's like, "Well, then why don't you make a club?" And she makes a club and drags him in with her because he gave her the idea essentially. Um, yeah, and then they gain three more companions who wonder if you can guess who they might be. But yeah, and it's about what the SOS Brigade does on their school adventures.
And there's many things they could do. They like to
Mm-hmm.
play baseball. They like to
That's
make
still my favorite
movies.
episode, I think, of the whole series. I love that baseball
The,
episode.
they
It's
like to
great.
play video games with other clubs. They like to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the weirdest episodes from the whole series.
What, the video game one?
Yeah, I'm like, this was just so out of place, but all right. Like it's fun, I guess.
How could you dare not? How dare you not like the Day of Sagittarius 3?
Man,
How dare you? It's the only English game that came over to the West. It
but it's
must be
no
good.
longer in the App Store, it seems.
It's not. It's like it came over 10, 11 years ago at this
I
point.
know, right? Why can't I play it on the iPhone 12? It came out with like the first iPod Touch. Like
I think if
what?
you were to play on your iPhone 12, it would just play really fast because of how
Oh, it
low.
probably would. It would probably run great. Either that or it'd be so incompatible that it's like we can't load this anymore.
Exactly. It just wouldn't be able to be loaded. It's just the old data. That's probably why they got rid of it. It got outdated.
Probably. They
Just like
probably
the
never updated
anime.
it. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. But hey, if you are a Haruhi Suzumiya fan, then you have probably heard that they have recently released a new volume in the light novel, volume 12 in Japan, 11 in English.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Hopefully that means
Yeah.
we'll be getting more light novels in the future. Who knows? Maybe considering the
Maybe.
sales of all the light novels, we might even get a season 3.
I mean, it stayed very popular. Yeah, the fact that we got a new light novel like a month and a half ago, when we hadn't had one in like probably like almost 10 years at this point, it was kind of a nice sign if you're a Haruhi fan. But who knows? This could be just one more and done, or it could pick up again. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait, see how the sales go and how the people who write it are thinking. Like, oh, do we want to write more? Do we want to just stop? Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? I don't know. Do you know? Probably not. So
Yeah.
for this podcast, we'll be talking about just the first 2 seasons. Unfortunately, Falcon did not have the time to watch the movie, but that's okay.
Unfortunately.
That's okay. It is a 2.5 hour movie, so it is literally the second longest animated film in existence. So
Oh wow.
understandable.
What's the longest?
I don't remember. I can actually look it up.
I'll Google it while you're talking.
But basically, I did watch the movie. I will say I actually really liked it, and it makes a lot of things in the show make sense, especially the dreaded endless 8 that many fans do not like for season for the show. I mean, the longest one is called Final Yamato, which is literally just a minute longer.
Yeah, I just Googled it. Yeah.
Oof. That is crazy.
And then the next two below Disappearance of Haruhi is The Tale of Princess Kaguya and Princess Mononoke.
Oh, Mononoke. But anyway, I guess we should get right into it. We have, as we talked about, it's basically about a girl who makes a club and they do like random things. But we find out that potentially our main character is God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Essentially,
normal.
if she wants something to happen, it happens. She has no clue she's the person making it happen, but several other individuals of the world do. So they are in the club to essentially keep her happy so she doesn't destroy the world.
Exactly, because she's because of her eccentric personality. She does a lot of things. There's like talking cats, birds changing feather color, cherry blossom weather, Mikuru beam.
Mikuru beam. Yeah. What else is something odd that she has happen right off? Oh, she wanted a mysterious transfer student to come to school, and like 2 days later, there's a mysterious transfer student who came to school. So,
And the biggest thing is she wanted time travelers, aliens, and espers, and lo and behold, we get time traveler, alien, and an esper.
Yep, all in the SOS Brigade.
That's right.
And all of Kyon, them. Who's the irregularity there?
Hey, don't make fun of Kyon, okay?
I'm not.
We may not know his real name, but Kyon is a good name.
Yeah, we never do hear his real name because he says Kyon's a nickname and he wishes people would stop using it, but no one ever says
John Smith.
Probably has to be. Has to be John Smith. They're like, that's a bad name. We're calling you Kyon. He's like, ugh.
Well, I guess we should get right into the characters now, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Should we start off with Haruhi or Kyon?
Flip a coin. I don't care.
We'll go Haruhi. She's the title character.
That's right, ladies first. Haruhi Suzumiya. So basically, Haruhi is a girl. That's right. She's God.
What?
That's
I had
right.
no clue she was a girl.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
I missed so much.
You did miss a lot.
Okay.
She is a girl with brown hair. Likes to have a ribbon in her hair at all times. She is 16 years old. Her birthday is October 8th. Ooh. She is also voiced by Wendy Lee in the dub, which me and Falcon here both watched on Funimation. I assume you watched it on Funimation.
I did, yeah.
It's not on Netflix, is it? No.
I don't think so.
That's right. And well, Haruhi is a beautiful young girl who, as we've mentioned, is a little eccentric, wants to believe in aliens, time travel, and espers. But she has not had the experience of finding one, even though they are very close to her. She is, I think they're freshmen, right? Yeah, they're freshmen.
Yeah, that's their first year.
She's a freshman in the beginning of the series. And as we mentioned, she's God. She is definitely God, as we've explained, she can basically manipulate the world around her. Lots of small things we've mentioned, but there's also a lot of bigger things we can mention probably later. But if she was a real God, I'd probably be Christian or something.
I'll worship Haruhi, I guess. But yeah, she very eccentric, has a lot of little oddities about herself. She seems to not want to be predictable because after like Kyon points out that she has her hair tied up in a different number of ties every day, but it resets at the end of the week. So asking if that means, I think he points out that when it's Sunday be 1 instead of 0, so Monday should be 2. But anyway, he figures it out and kind of argues with her about it. And then she stops wearing her hair like that because somebody figured it out. So she seems to want to be like unpredictable and kind of mysterious. Other students try to talk to her and she won't give them the time of day because she's not interested. Yet somehow Kyon, for noticing all these things, has piqued her interest enough to where she'll deal with him. So much so that the class president's like, if we ever need to tell Haruhi anything, we're going to tell you to tell her because she won't listen to us if we try to tell her. So we'll just leave that to you. But talking about even in middle school, she like drew alien crop circles on the school field one night and was painting things all, just very odd, very stubborn, headstrong, doesn't really listen to the teachers very much.
No,
and
there's
doesn't
this one
understand why
time
high schoolers can't wear bunny girl suits and pass out flyers by the school gates. That's
completely
just
normal.
stupid.
Completely
Yeah,
normal.
like Mikuru looks so cute. Why would they stop that? But yeah, that's kind of her. Very headstrong, very determined, very ambitious as well, and crazy high energy.
Very.
Oh god,
Maybe she
I
has
feel so bad
ADHD.
for Kyon. If I had to deal with someone that high energy every day, I would like die. I
What are you
would like
talking about? You deal
how.
with me all the
Ooh,
time.
you're not as high energy as Haruhi is.
I guess I'm not. If I was
No.
younger, I was. I definitely was.
Probably, yeah.
Strange.
But no. Yeah, she has like the energy of a toddler. It's like, let's go here. Now let's go
Yeah.
there.
There was this one moment, I think it was in the beginning, where she literally just like screams in class, and Kyon's like, "We're in the middle of class. What are you
Oh,
doing?"
yeah, that's when she had the idea to make the club, right?
Yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
sitting there, she like takes his head and like smacks it into his desk and then stands up and he's like, what the hell is that for? And she's like, I'm gonna make a club. And makes it kind of like, why aren't you excited? He's like, well, yeah, but we're in the middle of class. And you look and see like everyone's just like staring at her, and then she's just like sits down and like turns her head out the window, and it's like, all right. But like, yeah, I love that moment. I forgot it happened originally, and I was like, that's great. Just we're gonna make a club. It's
We're
like,
gonna
what?
make a club.
It's like we're in the middle of class. Shut up. Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
also excels at everything she does. We mentioned earlier she joined a lot of clubs, like all the sporting clubs, the
Mhm.
extracurricular clubs, the band
Literally,
club,
I think every club in the school
and
she
she had
joined.
excelled at them, but she got bored.
Yeah.
So
So
how
therefore
is she so good at those stuff? I don't know. Maybe because she's God.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and then even they say like in the one of the last episodes, there's a band that some of their bandmates can't play, so Haruhi fills in. So she's never played a guitar before, and within an hour, she was able to perfectly learn 2 of their songs. You know, and it's like that doesn't just happen to anybody. Like,
Yeah,
you're pretty skilled at that if you're
she was
able to pick
wearing
it
a
up
bunny
that
outfit
quickly.
while doing that. I don't know
Yeah, she
why,
was.
but okay.
Well, wasn't it because she was passing out flyers for the movie they made around
Oh
the festival,
yeah,
and so
she
then
was.
she found them out. So she was still in that costume. Because that would
Yeah,
be why
totally not fan service.
Nagato was in her witch like fortune teller costume as well. She'd been doing all the fortune telling stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Is Haruhi your favorite girl, Falcon?
No, I'd say probably out of this series, Nagato was probably my favorite.
Oh, you stole my best girl. I hate you.
But Haruhi's probably my second.
Yeah, definitely second.
Like if Haruhi was
But
like
it's like a
a
small
little less
margin.
hyper, she might take over Nagato. But I don't deal well with super high energy people all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's cool.
But yeah, Haruhi is definitely a main character material. Or I mean, she's not the main character, but she's the main focus. She can be the main character. You can argue that probably, but you know,
yeah. I mean,
even though the story is from Kyon's perspective,
yeah, it's from
literally, even in
Kyon's
the light novels.
perspective. He's the main character, but she's like the main focus and focal point of the show. Because he's the main character, but it's how his life is interacting with Haruhi and all her crazy schemes and whatnot.
Very crazy schemes. That's right.
All right, but I guess we should just move on to our boy Kyon then, unless there's anything else you need to say about Haruhi herself.
I those thighs saved my lives. All right, let's move on to Kyon. Ha.
Oh, all right, haha, yeah, Kyon.
Ha ha.
Well, even the wiki doesn't have his real name. Wow. Okay.
No one knows his real name. That's true. It's the truth,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Kyon is our very a pathetic person, a main character. Literally, the story is from her perspective. I actually really like his voice actors. Crispin Freeman. Ooh.
Oh, Crispin Freeman's great. What else?
Oh yeah, he's really good. Yeah, feel free to look it up.
Oh, he was Alucard from Hellsing. That's what I was thinking of. Togusa, Ghost in the Shell. Zelgadis Greysword, The Slayers. Holland from Eureka 7 and Cougar from Scride. Yeah, I think Scride is how you pronounce it. I don't remember. I haven't heard of Crispin Freeman in a while. I'm actually go to his IMDb page. Yeah, everything he's in is terrific.
Yeah,
I really like him a lot.
He was born in February. Isn't that crazy?
Why was that crazy that he's born in February?
I don't know. He's in Demon Slayer as some character. Oh, he's in Code Geass from the movie in 2019. He's some guy named Jeremiah Gottwald. I'm sure you know who that is.
Orange Boy.
Oh, he's Itachi from Naruto.
Yeah, I was like, he's in a bunch of stuff. I just couldn't remember all of that off the top of my head. But yeah, he's great. Like he's just great. But anyway, back to Kyon because that's who we're talking about right now.
We are talking about Kyon, aren't we?
Kyon, I wouldn't even really say that Kyon's like pathetic, as you said. He's just very much kind of uninterested, kind of apathetic.
I didn't. Did I say pathetic? I meant I think I said apathetic.
It's not like you said pathetic. It's like
I
you're
did
like
not-
Kyon's
no,
are pathetic.
Kyon is definitely not pathetic. Not
No.
at all. That thought has never crossed my
That would
mind.
make more sense. You just maybe said the A too quickly.
Probably.
But yeah, very apathetic, just kind of goes with the flow. Kind of just wants to have a normal life, but he gets sucked into Haruhi's world by unintentionally giving her the club idea.
That's
And
right.
even though
Everything is his fault.
even though he is technically the first member, he is consistently the lowest ranking member of the SOS Brigade.
That is right.
Despite being the one that's always there and the most like the one who interacts with them all the most, is at the most events. He always gets stuck being the lowest ranking member. And even though he's never late, is always the last person to show up, which means he is late and has to buy everybody lunch every time they do anything. Every time.
Sometimes
he even points it out at one point, like, why am I the one who always gets stuck with the bill? And
I feel like
yeah.
this is speculation. I'm not sure, but maybe Haruhi tells the others a time earlier, and then he just tells Kyon a time later. So he always
that wouldn't surprise me.
It
wouldn't surprise me if they're already there waiting. It's like, cool, we're all here. I'll call Kyon. Kyon, get your butt over here now. Kyon, you're 15 minutes late. Be like, no, I'm not. I'm early. It's like, oh, who knows? But yeah, he just wants to have a normal life, but he ends up having to essentially be Haruhi's babysitter to keep the world from ending.
He's very annoyed at it. He does not like it.
Kyon's one of my favorites just because like every time someone says something, he just has this look of like, what?
Uninterest.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
That's right.
I love too when he complains about not even being worried about the girls changing the room anymore because he's so used to having it happen. He's not excited about the thought anymore. So he's just like, ugh, all right, I guess I'll leave. Oh, poor Mikuru. But yeah, he's low. Like it's pretty obvious they make it in the show that Haruhi's crushing on Kyon, even if she doesn't realize it. But Kyon very much likes Mikuru.
Yeah, Kyon definitely has an interest. Why he even has a folder of Mikuru and Bunny Girl outfits on the computer that they have. It's very weird. But
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he's very, very interested in Mikuru.
I wouldn't say very interested. I'd say just crush.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he that does lead to some conflict eventually in the show. Unintentional conflict, but
unintentional conflict.
But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about him, just that he's trying his best to deal with all these supernatural people and do his best to keep his life as normal as humanly possible.
After watching the movie, I could say that he is definitely a good main character.
Even without the movie, I think Kyon's a great main character.
Yeah, well, I'm saying he's a better main character.
Okay.
Yeah, what are you going to say about that? But would you like to know a fun fact about our boy Kyon that I have just read on the Wikia?
Sure.
Apparently, he was originally intended to be an Esper, but during mid-writing, Kyon was made into a normal human. That's right. That's our fun fact of Kyon. The other trivia facts aren't really that interesting.
One of them is kind of interesting if you'd seen the movie, because he would technically fit. Yeah. So there are things called sliders, where instead of like time travelers, where you're going in the same dimension, you can like slide between different dimensions, like in and out. I mean, apparently during the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, you could argue that he is a slider from what he can do.
But the wiki says he is not a slider.
Yeah, it says he's not, but he does end up kind of doing some of the same things. But that's kind of interesting to point out that was Haruhi mentions at one point, the one thing they're missing is a slider. So it's kind of, even though he's not, he kind of becomes that for a slight bit due to powers on of his own.
Spoilers for the movie, but technically what happens is the world around him is changed, not that he changes into another world. So technically he's not a slider. You just got to watch the movie, Falcon.
I'd say technically was, so you could argue that he would be.
You can argue, but also if the definition of a slider is to be put into another world, that's not what technically happened to Kyon. As technically what happened to Kyon is the world around him changed. Technically, he wasn't put into another world, in a sense. But hey, that's confusing. Just like this series sometimes. You want to know what
Yeah.
else is confusing about this anime?
Hmm.
There is 2 ways to watch this anime, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So there is 2 seasons. There is the broadcast order, then there is the chronological order. When this series
Yeah.
released in 2006, the anime was just like showed random episodes at like random times, and it's just like people were probably confused. I think when I watched it the first time, because I watched it a long time ago as well, I was very
Mhm.
confused. I'm just like, what's happening? I don't understand. But then I think like here, I actually have it pulled up on this Wikia page. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. A rebroadcast of the first series began April 2009, following a comment by a person, one of the broadcasters, is that the 2009 broadcast would be 28 episodes long. There was speculation that the rebroadcast would be followed by the second season, though this was not confirmed by Kadokawa at the time, Kadokawa being the station to make Haruhi. The first new episode, Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody, was aired on May 21st, 2009, as the 8th episode of the rebroadcast. Unlike the original run, the rebroadcast was shown in chronological order with new episodes intermixed with the old ones. Episodes were later shown on the YouTube. That's not important. But basically, yeah, they basically had the original adaptation, and then they had the 2009, they when the second season came out, they re-released it all to make it in a chronological order to make sense. And if you guys are wanting to get into this series, I highly recommend watching it the chronological order, because that is the way you will not be confused. Unless you like to be confused, then feel free to watch it the broadcast order.
Yeah, and Funimation has it defaultly listed in chronological order. So if you watch there, you can just hit play and go. You won't find anything out of order there.
Yeah, exactly what Falcon just said. That is correct. That's how we watched it on Funimation. That is right.
Okay, and anything else we want to say about Kyon, or do we want to move on to Yuki Nagato?
Oh, I think we should just move on because John Smith doesn't like it.
John Smith doesn't like it. Okay.
Nope.
So Yuki Nagato is the third member of the SOS Brigade, being the former only literary club member. So when Haruhi takes over the literary club room, since it's just Nagato, she inadvertently becomes the third member of the SOS Brigade.
It just happens.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. And she is very quiet. She just sits in the corner and reads most of the time. But she is our alien of the group. She
is an alien.
Almost like an alien cyborg. She's known as a humanoid interface, but she has data with like all the other human interfaces. So they're kind of like a giant alien hive mind kind of deal.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But I guess she's not really a robot, but I always get that because they have this like robotic voice, and the fact she's connected to like a network of other.
I wouldn't say it's a robotic voice. I just say it's a it's a
very
monotone.
Monotone.
Monotone voice. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, just very monotone, very pronunciation's always on point. It just seems very much almost robotic like to me. But yeah, she was an alien created by the Data Overmind.
The Data Overmind, and she has been put on the Earth to watch over Haruhi to make sure she doesn't do anything bad. Where she is actually the character to fix a lot of mistakes that Haruhi does.
Yeah, I mean, she was not even really there to make sure Haruhi doesn't do anything bad. She's just there to observe. The Data Overmind doesn't want to get involved. So there's been several times where it's like, oh, if we do this, why couldn't you help? And she's like, my function is to observe. Like, she's only supposed to step in if, like, this is literally going to end the world right now. Like, then she can step in and do some things. But otherwise,
like it's like baseball episode.
Mm-hmm.
Your
the
favorite.
Baseball episode. And even while they're doing some of the movie, she stepped in there, but that wasn't like world ending. That would just be like, oh, if this happened and this happened because of it, then it would be world ending. But yeah, there's a few times she helps out. The episode where Kyon and Haruhi are kind of stuck in a closed space, she's able to help them out with that. But otherwise, yeah, she sits, she watches, she doesn't say much. She's just kind of there. But she is also a first year, I believe.
She is a first year. That is correct.
Yeah.
You find out.
I think the only one who's not is Mikuru. I think Mikuru is a second year. I think
Mikuru is a junior.
Yeah.
They say she's a junior. Yep.
Yeah. So then she's the second year. Yeah. Otherwise, Nagato doesn't really have any other hobbies other than
she's the best girl.
And you find out later on that she actually kind of likes programming. So they even give her permission to like go to the computer club room if she wants to like program for the day or whatever.
That's right. She really does like she was having a lot of fun when they were playing the video game. She looked like typing like super fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
pretty
but
great, honestly. But she's the
Yuki's
best
probably my
girl.
favorite.
So for
Yeah.
both of us,
Mhm.
yes, for many reasons, especially during
She's
the movie,
terrific.
I will say. Can't say what now, obviously, but she is a pretty good girl. I
Yeah,
like
from
her.
what I remember of the movie, she was one of the more prominent characters of the movie.
Well, obviously, because she's a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Just like every other character we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her, honestly, even though she doesn't really do much in the anime other than, save the world.
Yeah.
You feel really bad for her for in Endless 8.
Oh, I feel terrible for her in the Endless 8.
Because she remembers everything. And Endless 8, if you're familiar with it, is basically a time loop for 2 weeks. The characters, I don't know how, but they literally go through the time loop over 15,000 times.
Which is over 500 years.
Yeah, imagine doing that and just doing the
and
same
you
thing
remember
over and over.
everything about every time you did it.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad, honestly. You'd think, oh, hey, they're finally going to break it, and then they don't. And then we'll talk about Endless 8 later.
Yeah, I figured we'd have our own little section on that because that is a very controversial and disliked arc in the show.
Yes, considering it is literally 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else we need to say about Nagato, or should we move on?
I'm gonna make you watch the disappearance of Yuki Nagato. I swear to God.
Okay.
Okay. Who's next? Should we talk about Koizumi or Mikuru?
I figured we'd just go down the list of how they joined. So next would be Mikuru, if you're cool with that.
But did Kyon really ever join? Like, really?
I mean, yeah.
Like,
she
really,
was like,
really?
"You're helping me make it. Fill out the forms." So I mean, none of them technically joined. You never see them fill out the papers because they're technically not a club. So to join, all Haruhi really has to do is say, "You are now a member," and then they've joined. So that's how I view it.
All right, Mikuru Asahina.
Mm-hmm.
She is probably the beauty of the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying
She's
the
the
term
moe.
lightly. She is the moe, as Haruhi says
it.
She has orange hair. Her age is actually classified. Likely not high school age due to time travel mechanics. As I just mentioned, she is our time travel character.
Mm-hmm.
That is right. That is pretty cool. Her birthday is October 21st. She only weighs 73 pounds. What?
Yeah. What? Wow.
What?
Okay.
That's what it says on the wiki.
Wow. All right.
She is voiced by Stephanie Shea, who does a lot of other voices. She's also Hinata in Naruto. Mm-hmm. Actually, I didn't know that. She does a lot better as Naruto than she does as Mikuru, in my opinion. But basically, she is the mascot of the SOS Brigade. As Haruhi likes to dress her up in tons of outfits. We got a maid outfit, we got a bunny outfit, we got a Santa outfit for the movie. We got a cheerleading outfit in the opening. And it's in like the last episode of season 2. Where's some other outfits, Falcon?
We have the waitress outfit. Did you say that one?
I did not. The waitress outfit, yeah.
I think there's also a nurse's outfit we see her wear once.
Oh yeah, in the last episode. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But otherwise, that's all that I can remember.
Oh, but the frog outfit in the Endless 8.
Oh yeah, the frog one. But they all wear the frog one, so I wasn't thinking like that one because I was thinking Mikuru exclusive. But yep, the frog outfit that they work all day for. It's like, yeah, what are we getting paid? Oh, we're just taking that frog outfit home. Mikuru looks so cute in it. It's like, oh my god, really? They did all that work for a frog outfit, but all right.
I know, right? So I'm like, oh jeez. Oh yeah. My god. But she mentioned she's a time traveler, so whenever she really can't give away much information to Kyon whenever they talk because it's all classified information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which makes it interesting. Like when she's crying about the Endless 8, so I would classified information.
Stop! I hate it. I hate that. I hated that part. I had to hear it 7 times, and I hate it.
Don't you really have to hear it 8 times? Or did you skip one of the Endless 8?
No, because
did you not even finish all of it?
The first one, they don't catch that they're in a time loop.
Yeah, I know.
You poopy head. God, I really just hate that. Like when she's like classified information for my classified information, and I'm just like, I hate it so much.
It's so high pitched and going so fast. That line was very, very great.
Me and Falcon both agree that the dub has excellent voice acting, but Mikuru is probably the worst out of it. We're not saying it's like bad, but it's just that whenever she gets like excited or like emotional about something,
it gets very grating and it's very hard to hear.
But maybe you like grating and hard to hear voices. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I mean, we're not judging.
But in some episodes, there will be a future Mikuru who comes to talk to Kyon about stuff, about like things that are to come, like in the episode where they go back in time 3 years. She is there as a prevalent character. Future Mikuru, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People always like seeing the hot character even hotter. How can you not?
Yeah, I do feel bad for Mikuru. She's the character who usually I feel like gets the short end of the stick all the time.
Yeah, especially during the movie when Haruhi kept like abusing her. I'm just like, Jesus, you
Yeah,
gotta
Haruhi
calm down.
abuses her at all to the point to where she literally tells Kyon at one point that Mikuru's her club member, so she can use her like a toy if she wants to. And it's
Yeah,
just like like that she got Mikuru drunk because she wanted Mikuru to act more like sexy for the movie. And so they spike her drink juice or whatever they gave her to drink, and she's totally just gone. Like is about to let Koizumi just do whatever Koizumi wants to do with her. And that Kyon finally had to be like, no, you were wrong. Like they're trying to go with the flow to make sure she doesn't get mad and destroy the world, but he's had to finally be like, no, you can't do this.
I know.
Like stop. But yeah, and even like the first time she gets the maid outfit for the room, like Haruhi literally is just like ripping her clothes off of her to get it on. Like, no, take this off now. What are you doing? You're going slow, and just constantly.
Come on, you should
always,
have no shame.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just changing clothes. Like, what's the problem? Or
It's
even when
natural.
they're making the movie, it's like, here, you need to change into your costume. But we're in the park. Just go behind a tree. Nobody will see. And it's like, what? No, like. Okay, but yeah, I feel so bad for her so many times.
Real quick, I just want to point this out if people are getting confused when listening to it. So there is a Haruhi movie, and there's an arc in the anime when they're making a movie. So when we say making a movie, we're talking about the arc in the anime. When we talk about the movie, we're talking about the Haruhi movie.
Right.
Just to put that out there, just in case you've gotten confused, because it's a little confusing when I was chatting with some friends about it. But
or if we need to, we can even try to say disappearance when we're talking about the movie, since that's what the movie's title is called.
That is true.
Yeah. We'll try to make it clear if we start talking about it again. But yeah, she's a time traveler. We don't know anything how it works because it's all classified information.
Yep. But we do know that they have a little device.
Yeah, we do know that it's called like a T something.
TPED or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
TPDE,
something like that.
TPED, so one of those two.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's classified. It's not for my ears, unfortunately.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it. Don't worry.
Yeah. But yeah, that is our girl Mikuru, which leaves one member left of the team.
Is that talking about Itsuki Koizumi?
Itsuki Koizumi.
The guy with like the best voice in the whole show? Because he's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch?
Yeah, he's got Johnny Young Bosch there. Always good to hear Johnny.
Always one of the greatest voice actors in anime history, in my opinion.
I mean, and this is at the time where he was getting like everything. This is when he was like in Bleach. He was in this. Code Geass came out around this time, I think. Yeah, this is when he was getting like the lead roles and like everything. He's not as prevalent in recent years, but he still gets stuff, which is good.
He still gets things, but I'm sure he's made enough money to live suitably.
Yeah, he also has a band too, so he also has all his money from his band coming in.
He does he? Huh? I did not know.
It's called
that.
iShine, I think.
iShine.
iShine.
Well, while he is looking that up, Itsuki Koizumi is our transfer student of the series. As in we mentioned, Haruhi wishes for a transfer student, and lo and behold, Itsuki Koizumi is born. Not like actually born; he was still alive before then. But he is our Esper of the show. That's right. We've hit Alien, we've hit time travel, and now we finally hit Esper. That's
He's also
right.
the mysterious transfer student that Haruhi wanted to join the group,
and he joins the club.
I like Itsuki. I like him because as a character, he's cool. He's kind of mysterious. You never know if he's really telling you the truth or not because he's always smiling. His eyes are usually closed. But otherwise, he's always polite. He's always very mannerly. He has a lot of like monologue explanations, which can get annoying. But I love the fact that Kyon just can't stand him at all. Like Kyon does not like Koizumi at all.
Well, no, he doesn't hate Koizumi. I wouldn't say hate. It's just that whenever him and Mikuru are involved, he gets a little jealous, because he's pretty handsome, Itsuki, probably get any girl he wanted to. So
I feel like Kyon just doesn't really trust him.
I never really
Kyon
got
feels
that
like he's
vibe.
kind of. I got it several times. Maybe I just misread it. Let's see.
I mean, it's true because in like the Psy, they talked about how Koizumi shouldn't be trusted, and then they talked about how Mikuru couldn't be trusted because like they could be trying to get you for each side to do what they want, but like, and that did raise some doubts. But like at the same time, I feel like they're pretty good friends, honestly. Maybe there's a little doubt, but at the same time, they've really gone through a lot together. So
Yeah, I feel like at this point they just accept it. But yeah, their relationship's kind of interesting.
the mansion murder one was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
And then it's just like they look back at the end. It's just like, wait, since Haruhi wanted a real serial killer, does that mean is there an actual murderer on the island?
Okay, and Koizumi is actually a junior like Mikuru.
He is?
Yeah, that's what the wiki says.
Interesting. I thought he was a freshman.
For some reason, I did too, but it says student grade 11. So
interesting. He's a member of the agency.
That's the Esper organization.
The Esper organization.
Yeah, otherwise, just very.
He looks plain looking, brown hair.
Yeah, I mean, he looks plain looking. He just has like a messier hair than Kyon does.
But he's definitely like the handsome character of the show, you know? Definitely looks like he could probably get any girl he wants.
Yeah, it even says he's regarded as very attractive.
Yes, regarded as a very attractive individual. That's okay. He's not Kyon. Kyon is better. Yeah. Why would I lie about that? Right? Why?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it says right here for Kyon, Itsuki considers Kyon a trustworthy place to give information, but often invades his personal space.
Oh, I'm going to go to Kyon and see what it says on Kyon's page for him, just because now I'm curious. Let's see.
What does it say, Falcon? Please give us the details.
Let's see.
Now, let me ask you, do you like Kyon or Itsuki more?
I liked Kyon more, but Itsuki's one of my favorites as well.
I just like his voice. Every time he talked, I'm like, oh my god, talk more in my ear, please.
Oh, let's see. Koizumi annoys Kyon with his relentlessly cheerful personality, wordy lecturing, tendency to violate Kyon's personal space by putting his face too close, borderline outrageous comments, kowtowing to Haruhi's idea, and half-joking insinuations of a romance between him and Haruhi. However, Kyon is seen talking to Itsuki more than any of the other members, and as with Haruhi, seems to hold a grudging fondness for him. So pretty much everything he does annoys him, but he's still somewhat fond of him.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a better way to put it, I guess.
That's the feeling I got. Like, he still trusted him, even if there was some annoying things. Like, whenever, like during the Endless 8, when the phone call with Mikuru crying, and then Koizumi's there, then Kyon's like, why are you with Mikuru in the dead of night?
Yeah.
You know?
Then it's like, yeah, cause all he would have to do is say, like, oh, don't worry, Nagato's here too. We need you to come meet us. But it's just like, hey, no, we're here. I will be there immediately. And then it's like, oh, Nagato's here too. Like, it's not just him and Mikuru late at night. I mean,
you know, I do know, because I watched the show.
Oh, wow.
Just like you.
Woohoo. All right, but I guess that's really all of our characters, unless there's anything else we need to add about Koizumi.
No, not really. And just to mention, there are a few side characters. None of them really do anything big.
No.
There's one
like Kyon's friends,
or the girl that tried to murder Kyon. You know, nothing too big.
Yeah. Also true.
It's normal stuff. But yeah, there's Kyon's friends. There's Mikuru's friend. There's the student council president who ends up being the same
alien
type, the same as Yuki. Yeah, an alien. Yeah. But she's defective.
She's supposed to be like Nagato's or Yuki's subordinate, but she disagreed on how they were doing things, so they have this cool fight.
She errored.
Yeah, she errored.
She had a lot of glitches in her memory banks, and she errored.
Yeah.
And that's really it. There's really not any other side characters I could think. Oh, there's Kyon's sister, I guess.
Kyon's sister, by the way, Shimei-san
does not. Chami-san doesn't count. Stop. Oh my god! When the cat started talking, I literally got a talking cat vibes from it. So hard, so hard. Because I watched the JonTron video of it, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm literally tempted to like pause, make a meme template, and be like, a talking cat, and it's just like the cat and like all the Haruhi characters in the background. It was so tempting. But yeah, Kyon's sister literally doesn't have a name. In the Wikia, it's just Kyon's sister.
They just call her little sister. Like, even Haruhi's like, little sister, and she's like, what? Like, it's I like Kyon's little sister though. She's fun.
She's 11 according to the English dub of the movie.
I'm not talking about. Gosh, Jim. Yeah, no,
No, I'm not.
She's
I'm
only
just
in
saying
there
her
a little bit.
age. What are you
Yeah.
referring to?
I don't know. What? Huh?
She's voiced by Carl Walgren. If
Okay.
you wanted to know. Oh, we haven't even looking at the fun facts of all the other characters. What have I been doing with my life?
I don't know.
Does Itsuki have any fun facts, Falcon?
Oh, let me see.
He actually doesn't.
Oh,
Does
okay.
Mikuru have any fun facts, Falcon?
Maybe.
Mikuru's birthday is October 21st. The Japanese school year begins around April 1st and ends in late March of the following year. Due to this, her birthday is only about 5 to 6 months after the Japanese school year first begins, meaning if she was a real student or the actual age of a Japanese high school student in their grade, she'd age not long after the Japanese school year begins, as well as before the timeline point of the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya light novel, which is winter December, as October 21st occurs before December 18th, the time frame of the novel.
She's also one of the only characters besides Tsuruya who's has a canonical birthday.
Oh, we did not mention it, but Nagato's voice actor is Michelle Ruff.
Yeah.
Yes, and any Nagato fun facts, Falcon? Is there any? Yes, there is.
I can see.
In how is it? In Boku wa Tomodachi ga Sukunai, there is a character named Nagata Yukiko who appears as a character in a dating sim video game that Senaka Shiwazaki plays in episode 2. She physically resembles Yuki and likes reading books. That's another good anime.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's a little perverted, but it's a good anime.
Okay. Do you know what the English name for that one is? Because now I'm like, maybe I have seen it.
I don't have many friends.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not seeing that one.
It's a goodie.
It's a good one. Okay.
It's also based off of a light novel.
But
yeah, I guess that's it about our characters. Now, real quick, since we are still on the topic of characters, ever since we've been doing it 2 podcasts ago, I've been looking at character polls for any show. And this is a big one considering that the 12th volume in Japan recently got announced a month and a half ago, they actually made a new character poll. So this is probably, I'm not sure considering how we're going to be doing other podcast episodes, but this is probably to be the most recent character poll results coexisting with our podcast when we release it. So since this one came out November 30th, how they did it was basically you could vote a day. You could vote once a day, and each vote would count as 10 points for a vote, right? Would you like to guess who first place is, Falcon? I'm
going to guess Haruhi.
First place of our character poll is Yuki Nagato with 168,010 points.
She was going to be my second vote.
Second place is Haruhi Suzumiya with 114,690 votes. Third place is Kyon with 64,550 votes. Fourth place is Itsuki Koizumi with 50,880 votes. Fifth place is a girl named Sasaki, who is from the light novels, who Mira you don't know about. Has 45,450 votes. Sixth place is Tsuruyu-san with 45,420 votes. Seventh place is Mikuru Asahina with 41,550 votes. Eighth place is John Smith with 31,310 votes. They give Kyon 2 spots. It's great. Ninth place is Ryoko Asakura with 30,080 votes or points. I guess it doesn't really matter votes at this point. And 10th place is Kyon's little sister with 9,850 votes. And that's the top 10. If you want to see the poll votes for yourself, just type in Haruhi Suzumiya character poll. I literally tried searching for older ones and I could not find any older ones. This was the only one I could find. I wanted to see if I can find one closer to when the series was more prevalent than it is now. Not that it's not as prevalent, but it was probably more prevalent when it first came out. And I honestly couldn't find.
No, I mean, it was way more popular then. I hadn't heard anyone talk about Haruhi until the new book came out in several years.
But yeah, Haruhi Haruhi got second place. Yuki Nagato got first place because she's the best girl, as me and Falcon have agreed on. And Falcon has good taste, right, Falcon?
Yeah. Usually. But yeah, anyway, that's it for characters. Should we move on to the opening and the endings?
Ooh. So, first off, since we mentioned the broadcast in the chronological order. We watched it in the chronological order. So they would play the first opening, then they play the second opening, then they had the first opening again, like near the end.
Yeah.
First opening's okay. Let's actually look up the names of the
Boken Desho Desho is the first opening.
Oh, thank you. You're the best. Who is it sung by?
Aya Hirano, which is the voice actress for Haruhi.
What? Are you serious? Oh, that's so cool.
She doesn't do it in Haruhi's voice, but it's the voice actress who sings it.
The sub one, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that opening is also referenced in Lucky Star.
It is because Haruhi and Konata are voiced by the same exact person in the sub.
Yeah.
That's another fun fact.
Yeah. She hums it to her, Konata hums it to herself while she's playing video games a few times, which is fun. But yeah, I enjoy the first opening. I'm not going to say it's like some like best. Terrific anime opening, but I feel like it's very iconic. When I think of Haruhi openings, I think of Boken Desho Desho. I don't think of the second one, even though I think the second one is overall a better song.
Oh, the second one, it is called, what is it called? Is it called this one?
It's Super Driver.
Oh no, Hare Hare Yukai is the first ending, which is
that's the one where they're doing the little dance where they're doing everything.
By the way, a fun fact about that, I heard the voice actress of Haruhi got a lot of people to start doing the dance during the quarantine of last year to like keep
that would not surprise me. I remember when this came out, going to anime conventions, there'd just be like a group of people doing it off in some corner somewhere.
Yeah.
It was fun. I miss those days of anime conventions. Those were fun.
Oh yeah, Super Driver is probably my favorite opening because it's more jam-packed. I like it. I definitely listen to Super Driver on my free time, considering how like jam-packed the opening is, you know.
When you listen to it, do you do this?
Do I do what? I wasn't looking. Do it again. I assume you mean this because I can see your hands, but
there was too wide.
I mean, I'll admit, I was singing the song a little bit on my free time, and I would do it. I would do that.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I just did it twice.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you're on your own though, when you're not talking about it, you're just thinking about Haruhi. You think about that beautiful anime goddess, and then you're just like, yeah.
Oh, you just called her a beautiful anime goddess. Okay.
She's
Super Driver. So. I enjoy the song better. I think the actual like opening animation, I prefer the actual like scenes from the first one. But Super Driver's good too.
I'll admit, I think I think it's only because we get cheerleader Haruhi in the first opening that gives it like plus 20 points.
Yeah, not really. I mean, like,
yes, really.
I just like that opening. I think it's fun.
Yes, but cheerleader Haruhi makes it better for the 5 seconds.
Wait, hold up. Apparently, in League of Legends, the character Ezreal performs a short section of the Hare Hare Yukai dance. In Overwatch, for its anniversary, each character was given a new dance emote. Mei performs the dance, as well as the emote called Sunny Dance. Okay. Wow. I play Mei whenever I play Overwatch, so I need to try to see if I can still get that emote or not. Probably not. It was an anniversary event. But yeah, that's fun. You know, the Hara Hara Yukai is iconic, Chip, which brings us, I guess, to our endings. What did you think of Hara Hara Yukai?
Obviously, it's iconic, so how can you not remember it?
Mm-hmm.
And the second ending's okay. It's not the best.
Yeah, let's see. What was the second ending's name? I don't remember. The second ending is called Tomare. Mm-hmm.
And then there is one more song that is an insert song in the show. I forget what it's called, but actually, I think one of the people I listen to who does anime covers on YouTube sings it.
Is it the Koi no Mikaru Densetsu that they used as the opening for the movie they made?
No, it's when she sings on the stage.
Oh, God Knows?
God Knows. Yes, it is God Knows.
Mm-hmm. And that is way better subbed than dubbed, I will say. I don't
Oh,
hate the dub
definitely.
version of it, but if you listen to them back to back, the sub one is far superior.
I don't know. Does her voice actor in the dub sing it, or is that a different voice actor? Because it sounded a little different.
It sounded different, so I'm not sure. Then they did a song right after that, and that sounded like the voice actress, but God knows sounded like a different person to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the.
Let me search. I'm just gonna search for God knows on the wiki to see if I can find it.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. But yeah, I really like the song because it was really nice to listen to.
Okay, so it is the Haruhi voice actress. It is a Wendy Lee who sings it in the dub. It just sounds different. Yeah. So the voice actors did it both in both versions.
Oh, interesting. Interesting to know. But yeah, other than that, the music, like the regular soundtracks were okay. They weren't the best.
Yeah.
But you know, the music makes up for it. The openings and endings. Definitely recommend listening to Super Driver on your free time if you just want to hear it. Pretty good, pretty action packed. You get to see everybody running just like that, you know. All right. What should we move on to next, Mr. Falcon?
Next, we have the staple weeb moment. And I believe we asked if you would choose to be a Esper, a time traveler, or an alien.
Oh, okay. Well, how about you answer that question first, Falcon?
Honestly, out of those three and kind of what we see them do, I would probably rather be an alien.
You'd be an alien?
Up. Yeah.
You would? Really?
Yeah, it'd be great. You know, I could just, I'd know pretty much everything. I could be somewhat good with I'd be better with computers. I'm already somewhat good with computers. I work in IT, you know. But yeah, I just think it'd be cool.
Really now?
Yeah. What about you?
I'd actually be an Esper.
Oh, you want to fight the monsters in the closed space?
Well, I wouldn't say I want to fight the monsters in the closed space. I'll just probably
you want to be like, ooh, fireball, cool.
I mean, like, I would still be like kind of normal in a sense. I'd only be able to use my powers in the closed space as mentioned in the show, but I don't know. It just seems like a pretty cool concept to me. Okay. Yeah, I'd be an Esper, you'd be an alien. No one would be a time traveler because it's all classified information.
Yeah, it's all classified information. We don't know details. How can we make a decision without knowing the details?
Exactly. Come on, Mikuru. This is why you're worth girl.
Yeah. All right. So that was our weeb moment. If you would want us to know what you would be, leave it in the comments.
Haruhi's a good goddess.
You know, just do anything. Let us know. Anyway, favorite moments.
My favorite fight.
Favorite moments / fights. I mean, there's only really like one fight in here, so I guess you could argue 2 fights, but you know.
Oh, my favorite moment. When Endless 8 ended.
Oh, that's your favorite moment.
Homework! We need to do our homework together!
Do we want to make this just like the Endless 8 section and then come back to favorite moments to talk about other favorite moments?
So Falcon, what are some of your favorite moments and or favorite fights?
I love the baseball episode. I just find that to be like the funniest episode out of the whole thing. Just seeing this like elementary schooler hit a home run just by like barely swing. Okay, so like they have the thing to where like they end up like Nagato like rigs the ball to where it homes into the bat or whatever, so that way they can win, or else Haruhi's gonna destroy the world. And like you see Nagato just like hit it, and she doesn't even follow through like you're supposed to. She just like hits it, drops it, and it's like a home run. And then you see like this elementary schooler and Kyon's little sis just go bink and like barely tap it, and it flies out the stadium. I love it. It's so great. It's just great. That episode's great. And then the team they're playing thinks they had like some sort of magic bat, so they want the bat from them. So they end up selling the bat to have lunch money, and then the bat doesn't work for the. It's great. I love it. It's terrific.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Falcon, what's some of your favorite moments in or battles?
In-or battles? Besides the baseball episode, there's a lot of good ones. I do like the God Knows song. That's just a good section.
So Falcon, what's some of your favorite moments and or battles?
I know you've already said that. You're doing it. You're gonna do it 8 times, aren't you? That's what you're planning on doing.
8 times? What are you talking about?
What?
That's my first time saying it. What?
Endless 8 was definitely my favorite moment of the whole series. You know, love it so much. No, I don't dislike
Okay.
Endless Eight as much as most people do.
I know you didn't watch the movie, but I really liked the movie. The movie was
Yeah,
good.
like I said, I remember liking it.
I liked the murder mystery, even though I remember from the past. I'm like, wait, wasn't it just like not a murder in the first place? And
Yeah,
then it had Kyon
I
being
remember the
like,
outcome.
and then it's just like, oh, I think we killed him by pushing the door down. And Kyon's like, how did you figure that out? Now I must kill you. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, and
That's so
then you realize
random.
it was all staged and they pointed it out. But yeah,
And
gosh,
only
that was
because
great.
Kyon brought his little sister with him. If it wasn't for that, then
Yeah.
it would have always been, it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I also
I
loved
like
how
that.
terrible the commercials were for the movie they made in the show. I
Stop.
loved how bad it was.
Come to electronics store and get a lot of stuff.
Especially the model gun one. The owner so and so opened this after he quit his dead end job, but sales have been down. So please come and buy things from him.
Please come and buy things from
It's just like, what?
him.
Oh, I loved it so much. It was so bad. And Harry's like, great, that's terrific. Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Like, no, that's a garbage commercial. Yeah. What about you? What are some of your favorite memories, scenes, and or fights from the show?
Oh, well, I like the part where Haruhi put her hair into a ponytail. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite moments and or fights from the show?
Probably the moment where Haruhi put her hair in a ponytail.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also liked when the Mikuru beam actually worked.
Yeah, it's pretty funny too.
It was just like Mikuru beam, and all of a sudden, like Yuki's right there, and it's like, Yuki, how'd you get over there so fast? Why did you leave your mark? You should have. You're supposed to stay. But yeah,
Cut the sign in half. Oh my god.
yeah, cut the reflector in half, and Koizumi's just like, what is wrong with this? Oh, so great.
I liked when afterward when Haruhi and Kyon had their fight during when they were making the movie, right? And
Mhm.
then Kyon was like super angry, and Itsuki's like, you shouldn't have done that. I can't believe you acted that rashly. He's like, neither can I. And then later you hear him talking with his friend in class who's like complaining about stuff, and Kyon's like, wait a second, why is this pissing me off more than it does? And he realizes because it's the same with him complaining about Haruhi stuff, but he's actually doing something other than his friend is. So he goes back, he's like, we're gonna make the best freaking movie ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and it's a garbage movie. They have an episode that's just the movie.
I skipped it. I had to
skipped
skip it.
I watched it, and it was the worst thing ever. Like, oh gosh, I'd forgotten it was even an episode. Then I was like, oh, I'll watch it. I know it's gonna be bad. But,
8 minutes of it, and I'm just like, I need to save. I'd rather be doing something better with my time. I'm sorry.
I mean, it even shows just how disjointed the movie is, because it starts off being about like Mikuru is supposed to be there to protect Koizumi's character from Yuki, who's this evil alien, and yet she works as a bunny girl, advertising for stores to make a living, and then all of a sudden, like, Koizumi is supposed to be protecting her, and it's more like a love triangle rom-com situation between Koizumi, Mikuru, and Nagato. And then all of a sudden, it's like they have a final showdown where Mikuru loses, but then Koizumi's just like, no, Nagato, leave, and like launches her into space. It was made no sense whatsoever. And Kyon's doing the narration. He's like, wait, why did we leave this in? Why is this still here? I don't know why that's there, but I guess it happened. And wait, why did the camera move up all of a sudden? I'm so confused. But it's just like, you were the one filming it. Why you should know why the camera moved up all of a sudden. But it had a couple good laughs in it, but it wasn't because it was funny. It was because it was just so bad that, yeah, it was just like, oh my, how did they make that cringy? I don't know. That's crazy. But yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. But yeah, I had to skip that because I watched 8 minutes of it, and I'm just like, this is more boring than Endless 8. Holy crap.
Yeah, do you have any other favorite moments, or do we need to get to the Endless 8 discussion?
I mean, the last episode of the Anna's show was actually kind of boring as well. Like they literally
it wasn't a good ending.
They literally
at all.
but like it kind of makes sense too, because it's kind of like the calm before the storm, which is like before the movie, but like also at the same time it was just kind of boring. Literally, it's just so the last episode is literally just, oh hey, Haruhi sends Kyon to go buy like a heater, and then it's just Haruhi just like trying to put Mikuru in more outfits and stuff to like take pictures for the movie DVD release or something.
Yeah, they're wanting to have like extras or something like that.
But then it just like keeps skipping, and it's just like boring, and it shows like Kyon just walking, then Haruhi taking pictures and then stuff, and then it shows Nagato in the club room just reading, and you can literally hear like the drama club just like reciting, and it literally goes on for like 5 minutes, and I'm just like,
no,
why
like,
is this going on for so long?
I had been playing the mobile game too, because I remember that episode wasn't super important, so I was grinding out while watching. Then I was like, wait, did I miss something? And I was like, okay, no, it's literally just been Yuki sitting in the room reading, and you're hearing the drama club in the room next door rehearsing their play for
I
like
felt like it was
5 minutes.
below, like down.
Yeah, maybe it
on the
may have been
floor.
below, but yeah, it
I
was.
don't think it was.
They
Next
were
to
in
it.
a connecting room, whether it was up, down, or the sides, and it was just Nagato reading a book, and then Kyon's walking back with a space heater, and his friend's like, huh, "Man, you have to do all this hard work for Suzumiya. That sucks. Okay, bye." You know, and it's like, then Kyon falls asleep, and Haruhi's like, "Oh, let everyone go. Why don't you go? I can't leave you here. I have to lock the room. I had to wait for you to wake up, stupid." It's like, okay, well, whatever. But
that's the episode.
yeah, that's literally the whole episode. It's not a good ending. Like, if you would have ended it the episode before, where it's just them enjoying the culture festival, that even would have been a better one. Because it could have been like, okay, well, they made the movie, and that should have been where we ended it, but also that was during the culture fest, so why don't we just end it after the culture fest? You know,
but as
like,
I mentioned, it makes more sense because then the movie. But since you didn't watch the movie, it doesn't really matter. But it's still a bad ending to season.
Right?
2.
Yeah, it's like I said, it makes more sense with the movie, but that still doesn't matter because it's still
Yeah.
just the ending of the show, and not everybody's gonna watch the movie. So, I mean, I've seen the movie in the past. I didn't get to rewatch it this time, so I get how it makes sense for the movie. But since we're not really talking about the movie, I'm just not gonna say why. But if you just stopped at the first 2 seasons of the show, you'd be like, that is a garbage ending of a season. Why is that the season ending? Like, you wouldn't know. But it's not even interesting enough to be like, oh, it ties into the movie. You should watch the movie. Be like, I don't get how him going to get a space heater while them taking pictures ties into a movie and makes me want to go see said movie. So that it kind of makes sense in that way that it's not great.
Yeah. So should we talk about Endless 8?
Yeah, let's talk about Endless 8.
Yeah, let's talk about Endless 8.
So the Endless 8 is an arc of the show that happens during is actually one chapter of book 5 of the series.
Wait, really? It's only one chapter?
It is one chapter, and it takes 8 episodes where you watch the same episode happen 8 times with slight variations. Like
slight, and we're talking very slight, just the clothes.
Like,
and
different clothes, slight different things. And like, yeah, they might say, instead of saying like, oh, why'd you do that? It'd be like, oh, hey, what are you doing over there? Or something like that. Like, very slight. But they're stuck in this time loop to where they're in summer vacation. And at the end of it, Haruhi is not satisfied with summer vacation. There's one day left that they don't do anything. They all have a free day away from each other. And since they're not doing anything, she's not satisfied. But nobody can figure out what's going on, because when the week resets, so do their memories, except for Nagato, you find out. But since she just observes, she can't just tell everybody, hey, we're looping in this time thing, let's try to fix it. She observes until they notice something's off, and then when they ask her about it, her protocol will then let her tell them what's been going on. Yeah, and people hate it because this was really the start of season 2 when it first started airing. So you're all excited, and then you have the same episode 8 times, and why?
You could literally just watch like the first one episode in the middle, and then the last one, and just be good with it.
Yeah,
since we are true anime watchers, we all both watched all 8.
We watched all of them. I've seen it all twice through.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I did too. It was really slow at work, so I had it in the background as work. So I was like,
everything happens the same. I was literally doing
like I can focus on work and check over every now and then to make sure that I'm not forgetting something.
Like, oh, that's a nice kimono Haruhi's wearing. Oh, that's a nice swimsuit. Or like that's it, because it's always different.
I think my favorite of the changes is in episode 1, in episode 8, Koizumi and Kyon just swap swimsuits. In the first episode of the Endless 8.
Wait, really? I didn't even notice that.
So if you, I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, but I'm 90% sure that's what happened. If you look, Kyon is just wearing Koizumi's swimsuit from episode 1, and then vice versa. So that was my favorite, because it was just swapped. It's like, we can't come up with new designs, so just swap them. Yeah, I don't mind the Endless 8 as much.
No, Endless 8 actually wasn't bad, honestly. It's tedious and it's annoying, but like, and they could have. My problem with it is they could have handled it a lot better, honestly.
Especially at the point of the time when that show was out, they could have. There's several other like side stories from the books that they already covered that they could have thrown in there and made it shorter. But I don't mind it from a writing perspective, because I feel they made it so long so you would be as annoyed as the group, so that way when it ended you'd be like really relieved. But what they didn't take into account is that most people are watching this show to be enjoyed, and the majority of people aren't going to finish 8 episodes that are the same episode of things. So if you don't like it, I understand it. If you like it, I get it. But because I was very annoyed and was super happy for it to end. So the way they did it, if that was what their goal was, it worked. But just how many people actually made it through the whole thing is another story.
Yeah, this arc has the most controversy in the whole Haruhi's like fan base.
There was a ton of people who literally stopped and never finished it when it first came out because they were not gonna. They didn't want to skip episodes, and they didn't care that Endless 8 ruined their enjoyment of the series. Whether those people have come back around and finished it later or skipped through it, I have no clue. But yeah, when it first came out, people were like, we had this amazing first season, and now we have the second season that's literally the same thing for over half of it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. By the way, fun fact, I don't know if that's not a fun fact. I'm not sure if this is what you were thinking about, but I'm on the trivia for the last Endless 8 episode, and it says on the bottom, the swimwear worn by the SOS Brigade at the pool in the episode are the same ones worn at the beach during Remote Island Syndrome Part 1.
Maybe that's what you're thinking. But I thought they were also wearing it on the first episode of the pool one as well. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was from the beach.
I'm not seeing any, because I feel like that would be a fun fact or a trivia fact that they would add to the website. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
Another fun fact is in Kyo's winning hand, a royal flush adds up to 41 in the last episode. The camera focuses on Itsuki's wristwatch for 41 seconds. I don't know why, but it's there.
I think that was just like a thing. They're like, oh, we can do that. That'll be fun.
But basically, my problem with it is the conclusion to it kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, if you watch it and you know what happens, you obviously know the answer, which, by the way, it's homework. We've mentioned it before, but basically they have to do they all do their homework at Kyon's house. Which, by the way, they don't show, but they show everything else like intently. I kind of want to see their homework session, how fun it was going to be. That would be nice to see. Maybe it's mentioned in the short story and the light novel.
They show like one scene of them doing it to where it's like
scenes,
we did our homework, and you see like Haruhi they're sitting around a table, but it's just like very much like a very quick cut of like here they are. Okay, now it's done.
But basically, it maybe if Haruhi like hinted at it, or maybe some of the other characters hinted at it, it'd make more sense in like the earlier episodes. So like here's how the perfect Endless 8 would be for my story. So I'd say the first and second episodes would be like without realizing the loop, like they don't realize they're in a loop. And then like the third, fourth, and fifth, they start realizing they're in a loop, they start realizing it, and then they realize it. And then the sixth and seventh episodes would be basically where Kyon finds like a hint for it, a hint. It's like, you gotta do your homework, guys. That's what you gotta do. Maybe Haruhi mentions it, or Itsuki and Mikuru don't like say they haven't done their homework either when during the scene after the fireworks where Kyon mentions that, have you done your homework, to Haruhi. And then the eighth one, he finally figures it out. Nope, instead it's the first episode where it's no time loop, 2 through 7 where they realize they're in a loop and they don't do anything about it, and eighth where suddenly they figured it out. How do they figure it out? I don't know.
I mean,
that's what upset me the most
about the homework, but it's always just like Kyon talking to Haruhi about if she's done her homework. Oh yeah, I've already done that. And like, so
and then at the end,
but it's not prevalent. But at the end, he's just like, I need to do my homework.
But it doesn't matter because but it doesn't really matter because on the final day when he doesn't figure out the loop, it's just like, oh, I have to do my homework, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to matter tomorrow. We'll be stuck in the loop, so I'll just let a future me deal with it. And
yeah, I think even if like it would have worked better if even when they're asking Nagato about, so they've lived the same days, for so many times, and she's like, no variations. Even if she would have had a point there where she's like, you asked Haruhi about doing your homework on this day so many times, but also that might have happened after she tells them about everything. But even if she like included that into like her like recap, it might make more sense because she's even pointing out like, you've asked her if she's done her homework this many times. It's like another thing about homework. But yeah, it's just like, oh, we need to do our homework. We're all meaning to do our homework. And then Haruhi's like, I want to come too. And how dare you order me around? I'm the brigade leader. We're meeting at your house. Do homework. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's divisive. Totally understandable why it is divisive.
I bet you liked every time Kyon mentioned a Gundam.
Yeah, I love that. It was always a different Gundam too. It was never the same one, which I enjoyed. Yeah, I feel like that's just a concept that's really hard to do, I think, for a show. And the fact that in the book it's one chapter. I don't know how long the chapter is because I've not got that far in the book series. But some people are like, we should have just had like a what am I trying to think of? Like a compilation or whatnot, like a quick cut of just like showing them doing it over and over and over and over and over again for like an episode or two, and then figure it out. But I'm like, but that wouldn't have the same effect. Like emotionally, it would be a lot more enjoyable, probably. But it's,
See,
I don't know.
and here's the thing too. I'm just reading through like each episode real quick, just like to get because a lot of them actually have like different wiki effects. And the fourth one, Kyon actually guesses to Haruhi in the beginning when he's like, "Oh, bring your bike," and he's like, "Oh, I'll bring my bike." And he's like, "Oh yeah, how'd you know that?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is the one where they break the cycle." And no, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like each time they progress, he keeps saying, like, I think even like on the last one and the one before the last, he's like, this feels really odd. I'm watching this baseball game and it feels like I've done this. Like they kind of hint that like the further it goes on, they sometimes realize they've done it before, but they just assume it's deja vu and like ignore it. Yeah, it's weird.
By the way, here's
anything else you want to say about it?
A fun fact. Last fun fact. Apparently in the light novels, the time looped 15,498 times, but in the episodes, time looped 15,532 times. Why did they increase the numbers? I don't know. But basically, it wasn't bad, but they could have handled it a lot better. Basically, if you watch Endless 8, you don't really have to pay attention to like each detail unless you just want to see the characters in different outfits. I just recommend the first one, the second one, and then the last one. Pay attention to those.
It's very much good like cleaning music, like or like background noise, like, oh, I need to watch the Endless 8. But I also need to wash dishes. Like, put it on the TV. You can listen to it. You're not going to really miss anything.
And then you'll endlessly be washing dishes for the rest of your life.
Yeah, just be washing dishes for the rest of your life.
Endlessly in a loop.
But yeah. And yeah, it's very weird where they kind of play. I mean, I guess they're doing it chronologically. That's the one thing I asked what you mentioned. If you watched the anime and you liked it and you wanted to read the books are all over the place. Especially with how it aired in the show. So, like, the first season is all of the first book, the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and then part of book 3, because book 3 was all side stories that were published in a magazine, but they didn't publish it in a book form until after book 2. So chronologically, it's book 1, book 3, book 2. But then, like, after book, even like between that, there's other side stories that get collected in later volumes. So I think we went from book 1 to book 3. And then after book 3, we had the Endless 8, which is actually the first chapter of book 5.
And then book 4 is the movie, The Disappearance.
Yeah. And then after that one chapter of Endless 8 and book 5, we go to book 2 and have all of book 2. And then we have the second chapter of book 8, not book 8, of book 5, which is the Day of Sagittarius episode. Then we have the first 2 chapters of book 6. We don't even do the last chapter of book 5. We just go to book 6. And then book 4 is the movie, which is just the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. So if you're reading the book and you want to read it in chronological order, you kind of need to buy like all of them, because a lot of them are short story collections that just get published later, and they kind of fit in between all the actual like main books of the series. So just know that if you do that, you're going to have to kind of do some research of like the chronological order to read these events. Unless you don't care and you just want to read them in order that they came out, you can. There just might be some times where you're confused. Like at the start of book 2, it's like, we did all these weird things over summer vacation. And it's like, I didn't read any of that. Oh, because all that's collected into book 3. Got it. Like that. So just be aware.
Be aware that this series is very confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's our Endless 8 discussion.
Yeah.
Pretty much we both think it's okay, but it could have been handled better.
Yeah. Like I said, I respect what they were trying to do from like a writing standpoint of being like, oh, we need to make them feel the pain that the characters are feeling for being stuck in this loop, but that doesn't really equate well to a TV show. But yeah, honestly, I feel like the Endless 8 could have been a movie, and they could have made the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya into like the TV series.
I would say
I feel like it almost could have been better that way, but
yeah, I like how they handled it. The movie's great. Go watch the movie. In fact, I just bought the movie.
It could have been better as like an hour and a half to 2 hour movie of them like kind of in this time loop, but
you literally, as I mentioned, you could have just made Endless 8 just 3 episodes.
Yeah.
When basically the first time, and then when they realize it's loop, and then the last one being they figure it out, and that's it. They could have just done that, making it a lot more simpler. 3 episodes would have been a lot more bearable than 8.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For
Anything
sure.
else you want to say about this, or should we give our recommendations and closing thoughts?
Um, uh, no. Well, actually, another thing when I was looking at the trivia facts for Endless Eight, there's a lot of allusions in each episode. Like in the fifth episode, there's a point where the time says 5:05 to point out that this is the fifth episode in the time loop. It's a lot of
Mhm.
illusions like that.
Yeah.
Basically, like, hey, you're in this loop forever. Ha ha ha. Don't cry. Are you crying? Don't cry.
No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. But yeah, so ratings.
Oh, why don't you start?
All right. Hardy's a weird one to rate, I think. I enjoy it. I feel like it's almost hit like classic status as far as a lot of anime fans who watched it when it first came out are concerned. Um but also it has a lot of flaws in both seasons that I can't really don't feel like I can give it a super high rating. I think I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's an enjoyable ride. Most people aren't going to like the Endless 8, but like we said, if you just want to watch 2 or 3 of the episodes, you're probably good with that. You
Just
just want
watch
to get
like
the
the first, the
full
second, and the eighth one. That's all
26
you got to
episode
do.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you can definitely tell when they're doing like one of the main book story chapters or not. Like you can tell like the Psy arc and the Melancholy arc. You're like, okay, this is actually like the main plot, to where the others are like one-off like episodes that were like the weekly side stories. But arguably, I find them almost more fun than the others. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 7. It's enjoyable. It can be kind of confusing, but it has a lot of downsides to it that keep it from being like a great show, I feel. What about you, Conway?
So my opinion is a little varied differently because I watched the movie. So I'm going to give my rating without the movie. With the movie, I mean, I'm sorry. But
Okay.
basically, yeah, I'm going to agree with what you said. There's a lot of things that the anime does that's great. There's a lot of things that the anime does that's weird, and let's say being one of them. Uh, the characters are pretty classic. You got your classic. I really like the main characters who have like
Mm-hmm.
the type of face that like Kyon has, like type of like apatheticness. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like probably my favorite type of MC, so that's like a big hit for me. Uh, I liked all the characters. I liked. It's a very confusing anime, and if an anime can confuse you, I feel like it's a good anime because then it's not like basic and it makes you really like think about what's happening, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes you want to like go to talk about it with some like, oh hey, what's happening here, guys? Oh boy, and because of that, I really like it. And since I've watched the movie, I can see the purpose of Endless Eight a lot more. So I'm going to give this series, an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
That is my reasoning because the movie was great. I really liked the show. I wasn't really ever bored watching it other than the Endless Eight, which most people usually are. If you can actually get through Endless Eight and not be bored, good for you, whoever you are, because
Honestly, I was more bored during the last episode than any of the Innocent
I
episodes.
will agree on that. I will agree. The last episode was a little boring. I will admit that. Yep. But it's just supposed to be a casual day, and not every episode
Yeah.
can be fun and games.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is proof for why they always show like something interesting happening on the show, because that's basically what happened there. Are just days when nothing happens,
Yeah.
and no one ever wants to see that, and they just showed it. That's probably why.
Yeah.
But I understand why, because it's like a good setup for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Would I recommend it for a new time anime fan? I'm gonna say no, because it's a little confusing. I'd say watch a few animes before this, and then like if you're getting more a little comfortable with the concept of anime and how confusing it can be, give Haruhi a watch, because it can be very confusing. Unless you like aliens, time travels, and espers, then watch Haruhi right now.
I mean, they don't even
Just
really
right now.
incorporate those elements that much. But yeah, I would agree on the recommendation of. I don't know that I would recommend it to a first time anime fan. If you like kind of like science fictiony or slice of life kind of shows, definitely give it a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, definitely get a few more anime under your belt. Kind of learn some of the tropes and whatnot of some animes before you get into this. Be prepared for long Koizumi monologues of explaining things. But yeah, if you like anime and you haven't seen it yet, it's worth a watch. If you've seen it
Yep.
before, the rewatch has been fun. Go for it if you want to rewatch it. If you don't
We
want to
both
rewatch it,
enjoyed
then
our
don't.
rewatch.
Yeah. But yeah, if it's like you're like, should I start watching this as a first time or show this to my friend who's never watched anime before? Probably not. Start with something else. But yeah, any other thoughts before we talk about what we're watching next week and signing off?
No, I think I've gotten all my thoughts out, Falcon. What are we
All
doing?
right.
What are we watching next week, buddy?
So next week we're going to be covering season 1 of Dr. Stone. Since season 2 is now airing, get season 1 out of the way, so we can talk about season 2 once it's all finished up. But that is next week. This has been our talk on the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. If you want to be notified of when new episodes go live and for other fun things, you can follow us on Twitter at BirdBroPod. We also have a Discord you can hop in where we talk about anime, games, and really anything and everything, which there is a link you can paste into your browser to join if you go to the the podcast description page on your provided podcast service. It'll be there. Just copy, paste it into your browser, and you can hang out with us when we're not doing an episode. It'll be tons of fun. I also stream some on Twitch at twitch.tv/FinalFalconberry. And that is where you can find us. Check out Dr. Stone next week. And until then, we hope you all have a terrific time.
Here's hoping for season 3.
Hopefully. All right. Later, guys.
Goodbye.